Oh, you want a little bit of shortbread? Oh.
Hey, I'm going to talk about the new album by Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, and the name of the album is Kings of the Asylum. This is a band that was formed after the death of Motörhead frontman Lemmy, and if you did not know, Phil Campbell was the guitarist for Motörhead from 1984 to 2015. But what's interesting about this band is that it's a family affair. Most of the band consists of Phil Campbell and his three sons. We have Phil on guitar, his sons Todd on guitar, Tyler on bass, and Dane on drums. The only other person in the band is Joel Peters, who is on vocals. The band released their first recording in November of 2016, and this was just a self-titled EP. At that time, they were opening for some more prominent bands, such as Hawkwind, one of Lemmy's original bands, and other big names such as Guns N' Roses, Saxon, and Airborne. In 2016, they released their debut album called The Age of Absurdity, released on January 26, 2018 through Nuclear Blast Records. At that time, the band had a different vocalist. His name was Neil Starr. You might know him from the band Attack Attack. Then, in 2020, they released We're the Bastards. This is actually one of the first new releases that I reviewed on my channel. I will link that video in the end screen. But they are back with a new vocalist. Like I said, his name is Joel Peters. Let me first say this is some awesome album art. It looks like something from the late 80s or early 90s. First of all, you have that skeleton in a straitjacket with a beard and a crown. I mean, that's kind of what I look like if I was a dead zombie with a crown. But the guy in the back has this facial expression that reminds me of the cover of Death's Spiritual Healing. It almost looks like the same guy. And then you take a look at the building in the back. That reminds me a lot of King Diamond's Them. The artist used a lot of the same color scheme to get that eerie effect. You even have a fire on the top floor and an inmate hanging from the balcony. This is just some great artwork. Now for the songs, in general, I would say this is a hard rock / heavy metal album with some southern rock influences. There is a mix of styles here. You might be expecting the album to sound like Motörhead. It doesn't for the most part, but there are a few songs that did have that clear-cut Motörhead influence, and I will talk about them as I go through the songs. The opening track is called Walking in Circles. This starts off the album. It's the first few seconds kind of sounds like either like metalcore or nu metal, but the song quickly took on a new life as it progressed. They did some southern rock guitar riffs. I thought this was a good song to start off the album. It was an energetic song and the vocals sounded good. They were these gritty, hard rock style vocals. I thought they sounded pretty good. Too Much Is Never Enough sounded like a traditional metal song, and this is reflected in the lyrics that describe the band and their rock and roll lifestyle. There were a few songs that sounded a little like classic Motörhead. I think this was one of them. Let me also say that like tick tick tock tock chorus or whatever it was very catchy, even though we have heard that in other songs before. Hammer and Dance was one of the first singles. This was another one that reminded me of Motörhead a little bit. It had that opening bass line. The song had more of a complex rock or heavy metal sound. The new vocalist reminds me a little bit of Joey Belladonna here. I could hear like that in the chorus. The song is very energetic and the guitar solo shreds. The lyrics are most likely about the pandemic. Strike the Match is a cool song. The intro was very like AC/DC like. I would say like AC/DC mixed with some traditional heavy metal. The song has a very big chorus that you will remember. I thought this was a pretty cool song. It was a straightforward rock song. I like the part where they have the backing vocals during the chorus. Overall, it's just a really good song. Schizophrenia was one of the other singles. The song was like a mix of thrash metal and glam metal from the 80s. Some of the guitar riffs were very heavy, but the verses reminded me more of glam with the use of sustained power chords. The song has a music video showing the guys playing in a room with curtains, and they show these like cutaway clips of people in straitjackets. This was another good song. So those are the first 5 songs. I thought the first 5 songs were pretty strong, had a pretty good front half of the album. So now let's move into the second half of the album. So Kings of the Asylum is next. So we're about halfway through the album. It's like this sludgy type of song, a little slower, but the guitar riff is very heavy. The song is about people who hold positions of power and abuse said power. The lyrics mention corrupt billionaires and politicians. I thought this was another pretty good song. The Hunt is another one of the songs that reminded me of Motörhead. It had that fast-paced punk rock style with the bass guitar, and even the vocals were a little like Lemmy. I'm not saying this is a carbon copy of Motörhead. It still has its own identity, but it's cool to hear that this influence is still intact. Show No Mercy is a hard rocker, not to be confused with the Slayer album. The song is very upbeat and energetic. It has this punk rock type of energy. The drumming sounds very good on the song, and the song has this big chorus with some gang vocals. Let me also mention that the guitar solos all sound very good on this album. No Guts, No Glory. This is some high-energy heavy metal with some big guitar riffs. The song talks about the horrors of going to war. This is one of the better deep cuts. It's heavy, it's angry, it has some thrashy guitar riffs, and a killer guitar solo. Ghost is a song I feel it's a little lighter than some of the others, and by that I mean it has more of an 80s glam metal sound. You hear that specifically in the guitar tone and the big arena rock style guitar riffs. The lyrics describe being in a haunted house, seeing ghosts, and I'm sure the lyrics can be interpreted to have like a deeper meaning, but that's just on the surface what it's about. Overall, it's a good song. Maniac is one of those punk rock style songs. This is also the last song to end the album. This is another bonus track, but this is the official last song. It has lots of energy, some classic rock guitar riffs, and it's a fun song. It's just filled with explicit language. The vocalist is just dropping F-bombs all over the place, and it's a fun song. It's not too bad, although I thought so many other songs were better. So in conclusion, it's a fun album. I think it's an improvement over the last one. I reviewed the last one 3 years ago, and I don't remember listening to it much after that. I don't remember what my score was I gave it, but I thought this one was like more memorable. The songs were very catchy. They grow on you after 2 or 3 listens, and it's a fun album. It might have some weaker songs, maybe like towards the end, but I think it's in general it's very good. I like the fact that it's a family-based band. You got Phil Campbell and his 3 sons. We don't see that much, I know. And I like that aspect of it, so I will give it 7.5 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you think. That is all. Thanks for watching. Please remember to give this video a like. It helps me with the algorithm. Check out this video right here. It's the other review, and I'll see you in the next.